and formed as a group with this kind of theme, and now they get the vibe, and they're moving forward to what's happening today, and the movement of what you're doing today, and I think them learning, you know, the structure of songs that you prefer and you like to challenge and just create.
It's giving them a challenge.
Yeah, and I think that's going to push them in the creative process as well, because when you kind of, you know, when you challenge people, that's when they create new stuff.
Oh, yeah,
you know, just let them go, man.
And you know, and what's
you
really
create
cool,
the stage and you let them go.
And that's what I like. And like you said before, you know, with the new music, it's not just me writing the whole song. Yeah, you know, I'll come up with lyrics and guitar, but I'm open for changes. I'm open for, you know, instructive criticism. I'm open to add stuff that they like. You know, like, man, I didn't even think about this beginning, but, you know, wow, they created this whole beginning. And then they're like, well, you know, Donnie, you didn't really create like the middle section. We want to kind of bring it into a new level, whether it's really fast or mellow or whatever. They get this dynamic structure, and I let them write. And every now and then I'll be like, man, I really like this part, and Wayne will be killing it on the drums. But then Rob Zilla, my bass player Rob Lionel, he'll be like, I'll just look at him, and I've always admired him as a musician. And I'm like, dude, why don't you come up with a riff?
Yeah.
And then he just flows with and he's like nailing, and it's really nice because he knows these great colorful changes, you know, on the neck of the guitar using the notes. I mean, a lot of music has been created in the test of time, but Rob, like, he grabs things that inspired him growing up or whatever. And we've always been Judas Priest fans. We've always been Black Sabbath fans. So even back in the early music, up to all of everything of today. But
I love the grittiness of old Sabbath, dude.
Yeah, old Sabbath.
I love
these guys,
early stuff.
They just love playing Sabbath. They love playing Judas Priest. So they really kind of, you know, and it's so in that aspect. I think me and Rob clicked together. And
then you're like, well, let me introduce you to Death real quick.
Wayne likes Death. He told me, you know, I didn't like him, but I like. He's like, I love them. You know, no, he doesn't love them, but he likes them.
He can
appreciate how good the music is. He always said that, man, you know, I wish that the singer sung a little more or whatever. But, you know, I think Chuck always kind of looked for that singer. I think he always kind of looked for that singer, but he created a style, and I loved his style.
Yeah.
So I take Chuck's style a little bit, and then my own, which was all the greats.
Yeah.
And I kind of, and I kind of blend them in. If I get the Judas Priest, or I get the Chuck, you know, talking in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love, like, making my voice diverse like that.
Talking with Jade, Jade,
my daughter.
She commented that she felt like she liked your previous band and the acoustic and you know, the campfire band, you know.
Yeah.
And
Can't feel like the campfire.
And it's like, but she goes, man, but Form of Aggression, she goes, this is like his real stuff.
Oh. Okay.
And I was like, she goes, I can just tell, like, he really enjoys doing this,
playing metal. Yeah,
you know,
and it is me and Johnny, John Griswold DeLuca, Greg Williams, all the fans, you know, going back, they're happy that I'm, you know, back. The Williams brothers, everybody, they're happy that I'm doing this again. But it is kind of my, you know, like my main roots of it. I did industrial for years. I loved industrial.
And by the way, I loved Hematosis.
Excellent band. I had a little bit of medical problems.
And you had boiled it down to two
in the band.
People.
Me and Scott was handling.
Come on, you're performing.
That was pretty good.
2-person band, like
2-person band for 10 years. We had some girls with us that they did extra drums, vocals. It was really cool. A good concept.
Yeah, it was. I loved it.
But, you know, I started playing acoustic after Scott's medical problems, and you know, he's fine. Yeah. But you know, after the thing that he went through, his life changed. It changed my life a little bit. You know, I've known him for 38 years or something, 36 years. But Nikki says, she says, why don't you start playing some of your acoustic songs, that you write on the back porch and out in the front porch stuff at the pond or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's when I created that music, and it just became a band. Like all of a sudden there's a drummer now we got a guitar player. We started playing out as a 3-piece, just 2 guitars and drums. Then we added a bass player, Tommy Trono, Tim Berkeley, me and Chris Alt. We all just made this like cool band. Then all of a sudden we added keyboards, Scotty D on keyboards, which was in Hematosis.
Yeah.
And he was gladly to do it. And then we had B-Rad come out and played stand-up bass along with Tommy killing on the bass, backing vocals.
I didn't know that.
And I played harmonica, percussion, guitar, acoustic guitar, and vocals in the band. So I did a lot.
So you didn't do a lot.
I did multi-instruments. And then we also had and then Rob Wynell came in. He says, man, he came in right after we recorded the album. He says, man, I wish I could have been there to help record it. But what was really cool is it was always Scott Dowers and Tim Berkeley in most of the bands that I've been in, or me and Scott playing guitar. So it was cool that when we got this band together, me and Tim were
Scott was out of it, no.
Scott went into keyboards and a little guitar, but mainly keyboards. And then Rob kind of came in between me and Timmy with our guitar playing, and he was just like, like Timmy was like the eggs and the sugar, and I was the batter, and we put it all together and we made this, and then all of a sudden, I'm the flour, and we put it together and we made this, this pancake, and then all of a sudden Rob just comes in, he's like, dude, we got to put a little butter and a little syrup on here. And it really made the music just the 3 blending guitars. And I know that sounds crazy. We were a 6-piece band.
Wow.
But we would play out sometimes as a 7-piece with B-Rad on stand-up bass.
That's amazing.
So I love it was so much.
That's a jam session.
Oh, there's so much music going on that it melted people when they would, watch us. And I put out that album, and I was very proud of it. At Party in the Astral Plane.
Yeah.
That was the album. Donnie Canfield, Electric Campfires, Party in the Astral Plane. And
so then
that was right after Hematosis. We did our 3 albums. Mm-hmm.
So then all of that, then you went back to metal in a way.
I did, and I had an incident where my drummer had a pretty bad fall down some stairs.
Yeah. And
Chris All, he's fine. He's still a great friend, and he couldn't perform. He came to me and he says, look, I tried, and it's just I have to take care of myself with the medical problem. So he did. So the whole band kind of separated a little bit. It was heartfelt very much, but we are all still great friends and very supportive of each other, and we always will be. And I was set for loss. I was 4 years into that band, and I was set for loss. It was very heartfelt.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I started working on the form of aggression stuff from years ago, and that's when I put a post out, and I said, I'm looking for a drummer. And Wayne hit me up. He says, man, I've always wanted to jam with you. You inspired me when I was growing up. And he says, I would love to jam with you. And I said, okay. So we set aside and got a little jam session together. And then my good buddy Rob, who was the rhythm guitar player in Donnie Canfield Electric Campfire, he says, well, look, man, what do you need? I was like, well, we need bass guitar, And I had talked to Tommy, and Tommy was like, no, I'm good. I need to take care of my mom. He needed to do some life-changing things, and he says, dude, move on, go on. You know what I mean? He was like, do your thing. He was like, I trust you'll be awesome. And so Rob says, well, you know what? I'll take the bass position. Blew my mind. I was like, really? Wow, I didn't think so, because he's a great guitar player.
Well, but that's what he needs, that's what the band needed to kind of fill that space. Like, he's a bassist, but he's coming at it at more of a complimentary guitarist as well,
Yes.
It's almost like simultaneous roles.
Oh.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
I know it's taboo, and some people like to make that choice. It's hard for a guitarist. Mm-hmm. Not that it's different, you know. It's just what it is. It's just a different thing.
Yes.
But yeah, that's interesting. So musically, he's bringing a pretty unique approach, you know, as far as, and it sounds like he gladly took that.
He did.
Sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. It
is, man. And I thought, man, going to a whole new instrument. But he said, man, I've always wanted to.
That's cool.
He always admired, Kurt Mullenhard, the bass player of Form of Regression. So
that's cool,
just
man.
Great. Yeah,
Well, I look forward to some of the new stuff, and
we're creating.
You know what I like.
Still creating music videos.
I mean, I'm always a sucker for hematosis style, and if that slips in there, and you get some like a keyboardist or something.
I was actually adding synth recently. I don't think I'm going to be hitting that hard on this next show, but the last couple times I brought in some keyboards, and the guys are like, "What are we going to do?" And I'm like, "Just rock out, man!" And I like started playing, and they got this beat going and the bass, and it was just like it was like weird. It's really cool. Like what I love about what this band is doing now is that we're very relaxed on stage. We're having a good time, but like in between our songs, instead of just killing it, we socialize with our crowd. We take our time and make sure our instruments are tuned. We might put a little bit of samples in there or something in, that's gonna entertain them, but we have a very, very high reaction with the crowd. We like to talk with the crowd, and I mean, we're there for them, as much as they're there to see the entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, whether they're there for actual us or or other bands, that's fine. But we like to intermix with the crowd,
Well,
and
that's just indicative of like how you've changed from Form of Aggression periods, and you're just a more overall artist, and you kind of see a lot more, and because you've done it for so long, you know how to put on a good show, and the audience is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great, man.
And it's so fun, I know it's a job, and we take it very serious, and we are very professional at what we do, but our crowd, it doesn't matter, man. If the crowd is just happy and having a good time, then that's where we're at. And we're like, look, we're just having a great time too. That's
cool, man.
It's like a bond.
Yeah, it's a fraternal.
I'll change the music.
Oh, yeah.